Hi everybody, it's Litsoc, it's Thursday, and before we start our Halloween theme, thank you, I've got some lovely news which I heard this morning, and this is a winner of a fabulous piece, the National Peace Poetry Prize, which I confess I've never heard of, but it's clearly our entrant from school did, and this is written by is Faye in year 10?
Yes, no, 11.
Faye in year 11. So I'm going to read it to you because it got the most extraordinary accolade. An exceptional poem. Within the poem, it's hope that in nature reclaims all that humanity takes. A gut-wrenching and courageous poem that is fearless and forthright as any good. Well, this happens to be about war, but it's also about nature. A poem of real ambition. Wouldn't you love to have that said about something you've written? And maybe one day you will. So it's called The Cold Summer. Cherry pink. Cherry pink petals exhale spring's shadows. Forest green leaves shield a kiji. A petal plummets into a child's palm, then sours and shrivels into ashes. Autumn came early in 1945. All the vibrant petals, all the exuberant leaves plunged. They fled their home, whose limbs were snapped off rip by rip, abandoning their heart in the cold summer.
Wow, that was...
I don't know if any of you know what it's really about.
After the Second World War?
Yes, and what ended the Second World War? Completely.
Well, D-Day.
Completely.
After that.
The war in Europe ended first.
Oh, the nuclear bombs.
The nuclear bombs, yes. The bombing of Japan. So this is about Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Because
Cherry blossom is very important too. Yeah, well done, Dean. Yeah, okay. And it's the images and also the fact that the images stand for other things. And then this, if you look at it like that, look at it, it's very, very short. And look how autumn came early in 1945 is just the centre of the poem. And it was August. So even in Japan, even though their autumns are quite warm, a lot warmer than ours, it's the cold of the horror. So, well done, Faye.
Yes,
well done.
Absolutely.
Let's give her another clap.
Yeah.
So that's a good start.
Absolutely.
In other news, this week, Gillian Tyndall, who you will not have probably come across, but your parents might have done, a writer who wrote both in French and English, and she developed this style about place becoming a story. And she wrote, the one that I've read is called House on the River, and it tells the story of a house through its various, she imagines, inhabitants, and it's one of the houses very close to Shakespeare's Globe. If you go to Shakespeare's Globe, and just before you get there, there's a tiny little row of houses. They are exquisite. I've always wanted to live in them. One of them is the story that she tells, and she died this week, which is sad, but also an opportunity to remember her. Okay, so anything else?
There is something, but I think I'll save it for the end.
Okay.
It's about future Litsocs.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to start with what we used to call our Gothic Slam, whereby we share our books that we enjoy about ghostly things, because Halloween is on its way. I like its old name, Samhain, where the worlds start to open up. And it's linked to All Souls Day, or the Day of the Dead. Where do they celebrate the Day of the Dead, guys? Mexico, absolutely. But also across Europe, and the Roman Catholic faith will be visiting graves, and that's what they do in Mexico as well. They look after their ancestors and the graves of the dead. And so that's our ghostly theme for today.
Yep.
So Mr. Humphreys and I are ready. I hope somebody else is as well. Annabelle, do you want to go first, as you are going to leave us? Okay.
She's got a bit of a schlock horror classic.
Schlock horror.
This isn't the book that I'm doing.
But
I'm
you're
doing
going to
another
talk
Stephen King
Oh,
one.
yeah, because that is not a horror story, but that is a great story in its own right.
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption.
I'm doing Carrie by Stephen King. I read this quite a while ago, so I don't know how much I'll remember about it, but it's about a teenage girl who's very different to other people. And it's very eerie and very scary and quite spooky, but there's like a big plot twist at the end.
How is she different how?
Well, she's just a bit... It's quite hard to explain.
You can give away some spoilers.
Has she got a power?
Yeah, she does have a power.
If only they knew she had the power, as they said on the movie poster tagline.
Yeah.
So it's telekinesis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So she can basically like move things with
Yeah.
her mind, and she has her mother's quite weird, and she was also quite weird. So it's quite cool, like having the insight, because it starts. Yeah.
Is anyone else familiar with it? Yeah.
I haven't. I think I've read it. Is it a spoiler if I say what happens at the prom?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is.
People know about that.
The blood.
Well, if you've seen it, or if you've seen the film or read the book, then you'll know about it.
You've explained a lot about it.
I don't know why. I distinctly remember reading about Carrie going to the prom.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of like a.
I
think
think
it's one of those things that are really
Halloween
famous.
costumes.
Yes, it
quite
is.
famous.
Yeah.
But
In like one of those.
if you know, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think because when I was quite young when I read it, because when
You're
I was
too
like
young.
year 8, I think.
Okay.
But I quite like horror things.
Now, Stephen King is known for horror. Have you read any of his other horrors?
I'm reading The Shining,
Ah.
but I've read like one chapter, but like I need to actually read it. So yeah,
That's a family trapped in a remote place in the middle of nowhere,
in the hotel.
and Dad goes a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's basically what happens there.
But
Do you like Stephen King?
I do, and I think the way he writes is quite nice, because when they're made into movies, they're absolutely terrifying. Like, I'm never ever gonna watch a Stephen King movie because, yeah. But like,
scary.
I think reading books, you can kind of imagine for yourself, because it's not really. Your brain can't really make up things it hasn't seen before.
In PG stuff.
Really? So it kind of, yeah, if you're a younger reader reading it, then it's sometimes, I mean, my brain does this, but some other people's don't, but it kind of like age categorizes it to a younger thing in my head, so it's not as scary for me.
I get what you're saying. You can filter it a little bit rather than like
Yeah.
graphically presented. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're reading it, because like when you're watching a movie, it's like you've got all the sounds. But when you're reading it, because it's like silent,
Yeah.
you feel like something's creeping up on you.
Exactly. I think it's kind of like tension, but as a younger reader, it's hard to like pick that up when you're reading it. So
There are 2 movies that you might enjoy, maybe
Yeah.
next year, which have elements of Gothic.
yeah.
The Shawshank Redemption, which is a
Got it in hand here.
superb, absolutely one of the best films that's ever
Yeah.
been made. It's very long, but it's very good. And then The Green Mile as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
That's what got
reading
more than
horror
Shawshank.
and
Yeah.
Gothic novels,
Yes,
because
yeah.
rather than watching them, I hate horror movies. Absolutely. Do you remember when we tried to watch that movie
You're gonna have to probably specify.
in like year 8 at my birthday, and then I had to like turn it off?
Wait, hang on.
Glad
Was
you
it
did, if it was
the
getting
one
too much.
Beginning with B, with the corn. No.
Yeah,
you
the
wanted
corn
to-
maze.
You wanted to, or was it the one you wanted to watch a Stephen King movie because it was around the time that you started
Yeah.
reading them.
I
And
didn't want to
you
watch
were trying
it.
to watch it with me, and I was like, I'm not sure about this, Annabelle. But we started watching it, and like 5 minutes
was
in, I got
terrifying.
invested, and you were like, guys, actually, we should turn it off. Actually, we should turn it off.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I like reading Gothic novels because it's kind of like you can make it up for yourself in your head,
Yeah, you can.
and it's like you can limit how scary you want it to be.
Yeah.
As you said, it's your own interpretation.
Yeah,
which
and
is
some
always-
people's brains do go quite scary, but mine kind of doesn't really.
Mine goes scary. Like
Mine goes really scary.
But
Well, we'll see
I-
how scary we get with some of the other books we talk
But
about in
with
a minute.
like horror, it's kind of so distant that it could never really happen to you. So that's why
But like, what if
I
you
don't get
read
scared
it
by
at
it.
night?
It's fake.
When it's
I just know
far-fetched.
it's
But, like,
fake.
Fantastical.
But
yeah.
I read books at night, and there are always weird noises in my room. Like,
No.
always weird noises. And so if I'm reading something like horror,
That's a
and then I
Could
like,
be your imagination,
One
Lisa. I'm not saying it
it's-
definitely is,
it's
but it
not-
could
Like
be.
the person eating
It's
crisps.
no,
So whenever
apparently
I'm
that was
watching a
fun.
really, really scary movie,
and a really scary scene comes on, I don't think about how it is. I think about, oh, that's like really good CGI. I wonder how they did that. I think about how they made it instead of what they actually make it.
That's what
really
I do.
It really, like,
That's another way to.
I watch like how they made the things afterwards, and then it like says that it's not real.
No, right.
I hate
Okay.
when they use the animatronics instead of CGI.
Oh, I actually hate animatronics.
Oh gosh.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
My
there we go.
mind's so-
Right. Thank you, Annabelle.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Right. Anyone else ready?
Lucy?
Lucy?
Or Frida?
And then Frida.
Was there any more tea?
I think there should be, yes, in the smaller teapot.
So, the book I chose, it's not like, it's a ghost story, but it's not inherently creepy or scary. I chose Tom's Midnight Garden, which I read when I was in year
now
6.
That's funny because I looked at it yesterday and thought, shall I bring that in? And
There you go. Compare notes
I
here.
beat you to it.
no, I've decided on something else. Go on.
So, Tom's Midnight Garden, it's about a boy called Tom who, his brother has, I think it's, his brother has a disease so that he can't be at home over the summer. So he has to go to live with his aunt and uncle, and they just live in a random flat complex, and it's not very interesting, so he gets very bored. But then he notices that the clock strikes 13 times, because he gets very bored, so he stays awake into the night. And so he goes downstairs, and he was told that there isn't a garden, and it was just some bins and concrete. But when he goes downstairs and outside, he sees that it's this magical, beautiful garden. But in the daytime, the garden isn't there. And later on in the book, there are characters. There are more characters. There's a girl called Hattie, who's the only person who can see him. So Tom watches Hattie grow up, and she has like quite an abusive aunt. But the thing is, this is from the past, and he realizes that because of the way they dress.
Which past is it, Lucy? Do you know?
It's the late Victorian era, so about the late 1800s.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spoil the end of the book, even though I want to. And it's
Is there a particular bit you're going to read for us? You don't have to.
I wasn't planning on it.
That's all right, but sometimes we do, don't we? Is there a particular...
Oh, there probably is a good spot. Wait. Oh, wait, Alright, and at last, 1, the clock struck the present hour, but as if to show its independence of mind, went on striking 2. For once Tom was not amused by its striking the wrong hour. 3, 4, it's 1 o'clock, Tom whispered angrily over the edge of the bedclothes. Why don't you strike 1 o'clock then, as the clocks would do at home? Instead, 5, 6, even in his irritation, Tom could not stop counting. It had become a habit with him at night. 7, 8. After all, the clock was the only thing that would speak to him at all in these hours of darkness. 9, 10. You were going it, thought Tom, but yawning in the midst of his unwilling admiration. Yes, and it hadn't finished yet. 11, 12. Fancy striking midnight twice in one night, jeered Tom sleepily. 13, proclaimed the clock, and then stopped striking. 13. Tom's mind gave a jerk. Had it really struck 13? Even mad old clocks never struck that. He must have imagined it. Had he not been fallen asleep or already sleeping? But no, awake or dozing, he had counted up to 13. He was sure of it.
Yes, it's a really important moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like in chapter 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, and the clock tells it that something's going on. There's another world out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So it's what's called a time slip book. Yeah.
That happens in my book too.
Oh, right. Okay, well, that's going to be a good follow-on then.
Because the thing is,
So, and you'd really recommend it? You like it?
I would. I really liked it. I read it. I actually read it with my mum for my English when I was being homeschooled in year 6. So, which is why I have this particular copy, which was her old one, once again.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's been filmed.
yeah, it has. That's what it says. Now an exciting TV series.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. It's one
Now
of my favourites.
something I find I didn't know if it would be like ghosty enough because it's not it's not what you think of when you think of a ghost story, because there's no gore or there's no horror in it.
No, it's a proper ghost story.
Yeah.
And it's got gothic elements as well, because there's a mystery, isn't there?
Yeah.
And it's the past coming into the present, and that is a big motif of gothic.
I think it was published in 1958, so the book itself is very old.
So it's about also how things have to change because houses get broken up. A lot of after the war, a lot of the stately homes, big houses had lost their gardens and had other people living in them as well.
Something I find quite interesting is how when Tom is in the garden, he can go through objects as if he were a ghost, because when he's in the garden, he's the one intruding, not the ghosts. And that's quite a reverse on the usual thought of ghost stories. Usually it's the ghosts who are intruding in the world of the living. So it's quite backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Big clap. Well done. Frida?
Okay. So, while Lucy was talking about that, I was thinking a little bit about my book. Because in my book, so only peculiars can access time slips, so I think your Tom might be a peculiar.
Okay, so what is the book? Show it.
So
to
the book,
camera.
so this is like the picture book-ish. It's like the explanation. But the actual book is called Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Orphanage for Peculiar Children. But I like this book because, so basically, it's about this boy. And he doesn't know he's peculiar, but he lives in Florida with his grandpa, and his grandpa suddenly gets attacked, and he thinks and he sees them actively as like these really creepy monsters. But here, what? Oh, sorry, I thought you were pointing at something.
I was saying I've watched this and it's really freaky.
Oh, you have on Disney, on Disney.
It's so freaky.
I turned it off. I was so scared.
No, read the book then you'll understand it more. But yeah, but then.
So the book's not as scary as the film then, I think.
No, I think the actual show / movie, I think it's way more scary.
The film's very vivid. They don't censor anything. Like, it's very vivid.
It irritates me because I read the books first, and then instead of using the immense amount of detail Ransom Riggs used, they decided, let's just CGI it to make it more scary. Yeah.
And
that
they
will get more.
switched around two of the
Yes.
powers. I'm really annoyed about
So they
that.
switched around Emma and
Olives.
Yeah, that irritated me because that way he falls in love with two completely different girls.
Right,
Okay, can we not focus on what irritates you? Let's focus on what you
Okay.
like, please.
I like.
What you like about this book.
So the book is about these children who are peculiar and they can do like cool stuff. It's like some of them are shapeshifters, some of them are invisible, but they're really weird as well. Like one of them has like she can't eat out of the mouth on her front because like in the back of her head she's a monster. So if she's gonna eat, she's to like put it at the back of her head, like they chomp chomp chomp. And then there's also
How awkward is that?
well in the movie it's not that awkward because she just does this. She grabs a big chicken chop and then she's like.
Yeah, she's very embarrassed by it.
She's embarrassed, but then there's also really weird ones like
Wait a minute,
controlling
so you've got
bees.
another face back there as well.
Yeah,
Just a mouth.
no, just a mouth, but
Let me
like
see if I
it's
can-
scary.
Yeah.
And then what I like about this one is there are photos of it, so and it's different to the one. Like some of them can I just saw one. Some of them can create fire and light, and some of them are like completely invisible. Some of them like start fires, some of them start.
So is this basically an illustrated book?
This is the explanation. You know.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
like an explanation of everything because it doesn't because it does have photos in the original books, but this kind of explains further because they talk about shapeshifters and like none of the characters are shapeshifters, but like Doi, you know what a shapeshifter is,
Yes.
but then it says stuff like light shapers and zephyrs and you're like, what is that? So yeah, that's what I really like. But what I also quite like about this book, in the beginning it says famous people, like famous authors and stuff, who were peculiars. And I found an author that's very commonly known in here. Have you guys ever heard of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle?
Yes.
We've mentioned it before.
Well, he wasn't just the author of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Apparently, he was an ardent spiricist.
Yeah, he was.
Which as a peculiar of second sight, which really interested me because I generally thought this was made up. I generally thought that. But if that's real, that's crazy. Like, did you guys, like, it was really crazy. And there are some Antonio Meglebecki, I don't know.
Meglebecki.
Meglebecki.
Well, like, good accent.
Well, like, he was gifted with, like, photographic memory as well. So that's also another kind of peculiarity. But this is where me and my friend Phoebe have arguments on this. Because Phoebe says, so is peculiarity a physical disability / neurodiversity, or is it made up in this book? I say it's made up in this book, and she thinks they are real things.
I think they are.
It is a real thing, but at the same time, their photographic memory is different to the one in this. Like, their photographic memory is they can remember things from different time periods. Like, they can remember things from when they are, like, infant.
So what she's done is she's taken a human tray. No,
it's Ransom Riggs.
The author.
Yes, he has taken. It's because it's Miss, whatever her name is. He's taken a human trait and he's turned it into something slightly fantastical as well.
Now, I've been meaning to say this for a while.
Which is quite clever, isn't it?
So, I've been recently obsessed with two authors, Ransom Riggs and who wrote Shatter Me series?
Tahira Mafi.
Which
we've talked about Litsoc
then
last year a
guess
lot.
what I found out? They're married!
Yes, they are.
Wow.
I was just about to ask you if you knew who he was married to.
Because I read the about me of the author on Shatter Me, and I was like, no. And then I checked, and then I Googled it, and I was like, phew. So there is a theory that I read on Reddit, but so it's not 100%. It's probably not true, but there is a theory.
I'm glad you realised that.
So there is a theory that they've both kind of influenced each other's books and stuff. So I really hoped that, I know it doesn't happen often. Yeah.
Literary couples could be a good Litsoc to do.
So,
real and fictional.
Yeah, I want to do that.
I think
but
we should.
because when I was reading Shatter Me, there's a girl called Juliet who has a peculiarity which linked to this book. So yeah, on my desk right now, I have my Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children books, and I have my Shatter Me books, which Waterstones finally delivered. And then I'm like comparing them.
Yeah, let's remember these. This has been publicly broadcast.
Sorry,
Waterstones is great. We love
Waterstones is
Waterstones.
fabulous.
Lots of great stuff about Waterstones.
The best thing to do is click and collect it in future.
Okay, I guess it was a bit lazy of me to press
They have the whole series at W. H. Smith and the Works.
Yeah. So there are alternative outlets. Obviously we shouldn't be flogging particular stores.
But
it's very true.
So I'm just
Books
like
are also
comparing
available
the
at
two
Regency
of them.
Bookshop, Surbiton.
Yes, absolutely. We love Regency Bookshop.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah.
All right.
So you would recommend this book?
I would recommend this book, any book by Ransom Riggs, actually.
Because they're scary and gothic.
They are scary, gothic, and they make sense.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you, Frida. Very
Well,
good.
okay.
Very good.
All right, thank you, Frida.
What time is
Anybody
it?
else got to leave early?
I have to leave early, but I'd like to.
What
Go on
time
then,
is it?
Stella.
It's 25 to.
25 to.
It's just some people might need to leave at 5, so just wanna let those people in first.
5:15 because
Yeah.
of the way we're going.
Yeah,
All right?
we do. Maybe before, we'll see.
We'll see how
But
we
we'll
go.
definitely make sure we finish at 5:15.
All right.
If not
Everybody
before.
okay?
Right, Stella, what have you got for us?
Well, this book isn't so much gothic or spooky, but it's kind of horror in the way that, like, you get very vivid perspectives of children who are not scared of death due to the fact that they're surrounded by it so much. So it's called The Storybook Blitz Girl, and it's about this girl. She loves books, and she's about 10 years old. And she's in the Blitz. She's just an ordinary schoolgirl who lives in the Blitz, and at the start of the book, she's very protective of her books, and she reads this book called The Wind in the Willows. And
Great book.
yeah, I love that book. I didn't really get it when I was younger, but I really enjoyed it. And then she reads this second book called Five Children and It.
Another great book.
Yeah, so she loves classics, but And when she goes to the bookstore to collect 5 children from this Russian librarian who she really loves, there's an air raid going on, and in that air raid she loses 2 very important things to her. She loses that book, and there's about 2 chapters of her going on like a huge spiral, saying, "I will happily die if it means I hold this book in my hand again."
Wow.
And she also
chapters.
yeah, but this author's very complex, and
Getting into the minds of the characters.
yeah, I did cry a little. And then she also loses the bookstore and the Russian librarian. The book was bombed as the librarian was sleeping. As in the middle of the book, she decides that enough is enough. So she gathers 2 of her friends, Martha and Lillian, and decides she's going to make her own bookstore out of the rubble of her Russian librarian's bookstore. And it's very secretive. It's hidden underground, in the basement, and it's just there so kids can be safe place. It's like an underground tunnel where they can go.
This is the sort of thing that's having to happen in Ukraine
Yeah,
at this moment.
yeah. But then one day these officers come in saying, "Look, we're in like a real pickle. We need you to hide some very important documents in your books." And I'm not going to tell you how the book ends,
Don't,
but
'cause it's very intriguing.
I literally burst out crying. It was so sad.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
And so, remind us what it's called again.
The storybook Blitzgirl,
Okay, and it's by.
Lily Lemorne. I think that's how you pronounce it. Lily Lemorne. It doesn't say on this because I copied and pasted
All
it.
right, I was
from-
going to see if I could see it there. Okay.
Yeah. It's Laumagne.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Let me see if I can find like a really horrifying part.
It reminded me of
Oh
Bug
my
Thief.
gosh, chapter 2 is absolutely
Go on then.
horrifying. Okay.
Slam it to us.
The sirens had stopped, but they still continued in my ears. The bombers were gone, but they were still flying ahead in my eyes. As we stepped out, I could smell fresh smoke as it billowed from behind us. There were new dents, and the ground around us was uprooted with bits of shrapnel and brick. Sassy, the cat, was awake, but curled up in Kenny, the brother, Kenny's skinny arms, his stuffed bear held by a finger, dangling like the surviving pub signs. I looked to where I heard the bomb. The house behind us was destroyed years ago, demolished for refurbishment before the war and never reconstructed. Firemen were just leaving, the embers of the fire dying down to 2 doors behind. Poor Mrs. Mason. The old dear was definitely dead. She never left her house. She couldn't. Her sickly self had to pray that no bomb touched her home. She didn't pray hard enough tonight. And what would Mr. Mason say? I thought about the bruised and broken man, returning from war with scars that had bled and limbs that had broken. And he'd expect a warm soup. He'd expect a happy dog bark, and he'd expect a kiss from his frail wife. But if he ever made it through the barbed wire and mustard gas, he'd return to a destroyed home, and a new grave would decorate the churches. Oh well. Wood, glass, brick, all poking out like the bones of a dead house. Before World War II, I would have expected to see 4 men holding a stretcher, a clean white sheet covering a limp body and being hoisted into an ambulance. But now we'd run out of clean sheets. White sheets if we had to carry each death away. People just burned with their homes. So in a way, they did get a burial. I mean, a cremation and a burial for free. If you were twisted enough, I suppose you'd enjoy that. A tidy little send-off, minus the ceremony. Sometimes I looked into my reflection and thought I was twisted. Maybe I was. But the reason I was drawn so much to my books was because only reality could tell me I was so. I'll make supper, said Mama, walking inside with her hand on Kenny's back. Supper. What is supper anymore? I only briefly remember the time when food wasn't rationed, when we could go and buy a 6-pack of eggs for a large Sunday breakfast. And there's a lot more, so I'm just going to stop it there.
That's really evocative. So we've got the horror of war, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's really well written.
Mhm.
Okay. Thanks,
All right,
Stella.
thanks, Sarah. Bye, Phoebe.
Okay, I'm just going to sit here.
Oh, you're just going to say, I think you're
All
going. Right, okay.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Jenny, you're going to go now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have a physical book because I read it on my Kindle. So yeah. I've kind of got 2 in my head, but one of them I don't have a lot of information about because I've read it when I was like in year 4, but it was very good. And I don't remember the name of the author, but I remember reading it. And it's about like these 2 clans. It's like a vampire and like werewolves and whatever, and then like
fight.
It might not be. It might not be what you're thinking.
And then, but then they like the two like children of the people of like the main people, a guy and a guy, they fall in love, but there is a girl who one of the people fell in love. Anyway, it's complicated, but it's it's very good. And then the second, and then
But you can't remember the name of it.
no,
Did it begin with a T?
no.
No, I don't think it actually is
We're
that.
not going there, thanks.
I don't think it is that, despite
No, I
the...
don't think it is. I don't
Anyway,
think
and what's the other one?
And then the other one was the letters from the lighthouse.
Oh, Emma Carroll.
Wait.
Yeah.
Which I read in year 6 for guided reading, but it was still very good because I finished the book, even though I wasn't supposed to. So, anyway, and basically, there are two children, and they get sent away to the countryside for, oh wait, so at the start of the book, they live in this, like, house during the war, the Second World War.
Yes.
And then their mum goes to like work, and there are three children. There are 3 children, and the mum goes to work, and then they go to the cinema because their mum's out late, and why not, you know? And then there was an air raid while they were at the cinema.
Yes.
So then they went out of the cinema, obviously, because otherwise they're going to get bombed. And then they couldn't find their older sister, the brother and the sister. And then they saw her dressed in their mum's clothes with a guy. And then, yeah. And then they had to, like, move to the countryside because obviously they didn't want to keep getting bombed. No, not with the guy. The sister and the guy are now away.
Out of the picture.
Yeah. And then they live in a lighthouse, and there are a bunch of adventures.
And that's where they evacuated to.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, yeah, that's like the summary of the first bit. And then there's this girl who doesn't really like them, but she's a little star, Jewish star, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she to move there as well. And then she's not very nice though. And then they find out why.
Well, she's not very nice.
Yeah, because like obviously it's been reflected. It's very sad. And then, so yeah. And then they become friends, and then they have a bunch of more adventures, and it's very cool and fun, and it's a very good book. But it's also got the gut wrenching feeling of the
So we've
war
got
and
this
stuff.
this horror again.
Yeah.
Of the whole scenario. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone read Emma Carroll by any chance?
Yeah.
Is it author? Yeah. So yeah. You if you haven't read Letters from Letters, there's a good chance you might have read one of her others. She's a very good historical fiction author as well. So. Yeah, good choice. All right, thank you very much.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
I can't remember your name. Sorry.
Charlotte. Oh, damn it.
No, Charlotte's my cousin.
Yeah, she's not here today, Charlotte.
Oh, this is so annoying. I always get names wrong.
Right. So this one I read, I think. Well, this is like the last one of like the series.
Right. So hold it.
Well,
up
I think
to
it's the
camera
last.
and tell
I
us
think
what it is.
this might be the second last
Deadly
one.
Deep
but
by
then
Jennifer
Killick.
Killick. Right.
So the first one's called Dreadwood,
Mhm.
and they're like on the back, but they're very tiny. So, and it's basically about these four, including the narrator, Hallie, Gus, Naira, and Angelo, and they all have to go to detention on a Saturday for doing like different things, and so they're kind of all like forced together. But Angelo's very like shy and like social. The only reason I didn't bring the first one so I could like refer back to it is because it was from my old school, so I couldn't steal it. But then Hallie's very kind of like out there, so like opposite of Angela, and then Gus is just Gus, and Naira's very like in the rules, like down to earth. That's what I meant to say. So they're all kind of thrown together, and then their teacher. I do not know the teacher's name. It's probably somewhere.
Doesn't matter.
So they're like, walking to the place where they're going to do detention, which is probably something normal like homework, but you never get to find out because they don't get that. Because their teacher's like dragged underground.
Oh,
so that's
This is where the horror comes in.
That's the beginning of the horror.
Okay.
So, because obviously when you read it, like everyone's been saying, it's not actually scary. Like sometimes I go through the
the scariest chapter, and I'm just like,
I'm looking at the cover. That looks pretty scary.
it looks scary.
If you show the cover to everyone.
Because
show
it's
the
like
cover.
the third last, like the
Tentacles
second last
coming
one.
from the sea.
So like, it's not like actually like that. But I need to explain more. But okay, so then there are the caretakers, and it's like an elderly couple who live on site because they have like their house and stuff at the school, so they can like take care of it a lot. And then so they're kind of like crazy, but like no one's really noticed because they're kind of like in the shadows and they just do their cleaning up and stuff without anyone noticing. And so they, on the first book, they create these. So in every book, there's some sort of weird mutant creatures, like who are like controlled to do bad stuff by the caretakers, but they're like summoned by a like nursery rhyme. So
Which nursery rhyme is it?
so it's lots of different nursery rhymes in each book, and that's why they have to figure it out. So in the first one, it's Incy Wincy Spider, which gives a link to what the animals are. And in the second one,
It was on the bus.
I do. It might as well
Something
be.
makes me doubt it.
It might as well be.
I think it's America, so probably not.
Black sheep.
I don't actually know. But the second one, I can't even remember the other ones, but the second one. So yeah, they're pretty not very nice creatures, obviously, because you wouldn't really imagine a unicorn coming up to you and biting your leg off. But no one's legs get bitten off. So like, just yeah. But then eventually they have to like defeat them in the end, because otherwise there wouldn't be a whole series. So yeah, it's quite the ends are always quite nice because they're not like sudden jump scare at the end and then you have to buy the next book. But it's like
Also very good marketing.
but like you want to buy the next book because you know that the people are going to be like, I read the first book and then a friend had the second book and I was like, oh my gosh, I read the first book, can I read that? And then at the end of the second book, they've like the scary people, they've like come back again.
Oh, okay.
So like it's different scenarios, because the first one is detention, the second one it's like a school kind of fair thing, and then the third one they're just in a like shopping mall, and this is like a school residential kind of thing, but because the school's like linked with a company. And then the fourth one is someone's birthday party, and so I've forgotten what that linked to.
Scenarios that we're all familiar with.
So yeah, but detention's kind of like scary anyways. But anyway, so
Can you read us a little bit? Do you want to read us the beginning?
well, the beginning of this one is like interesting, but like not interesting, but like they're about to go on the ship. So they've been somewhere else. Let's say they're in like France. They might as well be in France, and then they're going to take a ship to go to like Spain or something like that, or go back home. But it's like the ship is like fueled by the company. Okay, so this is so going to end badly. 100% we're doomed. Hallie stops at the bottom of the ramp, drops her backpack on the floor, and stink-eyes the scene in front of us. It's the first week of September, and we're starting year 8 with a school trip of my dreams. 5 days in the south of France studying the Mediterranean coastline and wildlife. It's day 3 of the trip, and we're getting on a boat to Corsica? Yep, Corsica, for the next stage of our research. I've never been out of the UK before, so this is Angelo, by the way. I've never been out of the UK before, so for me, this is mind-blowingly amazing, even if Hallie's not feeling it. The late summer sky is a perfect blue, dotted with ice cream scoops of fluffy vanilla cloud. The sun is just starting its descent into evening, and its rays are making the ocean glitter gently like the waves are crested with diamonds. The ship we're boarding is spotless white steel, chrome and glass, rising out of the sea in a way that I can only describe as majestic. It gleams luxuriously, the sunlight glinting off its hull like it's winking at us. My best friends are next to me, Hallie, Gus, Naira and Colette, who also, Colette kind of joins at the end of the first book, because like the caretakers are like her grandparents who like want her back.
So there's a sense of doom from the first sentence.
Yes, because they know that they're going to come back eventually, because like they've always come back. Who are all tanned and freckled from the long summer days. We're in shorts and t-shirts and trailing wheelie cases. It's about as perfect as a view could be. And then it's just loads of talking about getting on the ship, and that's not very interesting.
Well, that's setting the scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
For something that Probably
It's like
want to read
they all know something bad will probably happen, even if they're on the ship or off the ship. But they're also like excited to get on the ship because it's like an awesome ship. So yeah.
What a way to start year 8 with a trip to the Mediterranean.
If only. If only.
Yeah.
So
Thank
yeah.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
You can just imagine somebody like creepy in the background singing like a nursery rhyme in like a really creepy voice.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Imagine if they started singing Daisy Bell. Like
I know that one.
Daisy. Yeah.
No.
What?
I don't know that one.
I've never heard that.
How? Do you guys have TikTok?
Oh, you need to have TikTok to know. That's why. That's why we don't know Miss Huntley.
You don't. But it's
Right.
very surprised you don't.
I know that one.
You got one, Phoebe? Yeah.
I don't have time to find.
That's okay. That's okay. Just free will.
Do we have the Walls of Willoughby Chase?
Oh my god, the
Yes.
Halloween memo is yet to do.
Oh, you're real. I read Murder Most Ladylike and then the first book.
My dad definitely likes.
So, like, one of the characters
Good choice.
died on the 23rd of November. And that's my birthday. And I read
it was
at
made
night
for you.
when it described that, and I read it at night, and like I completely like.
It really.
I read that bit at night.
Who knows?
too.
Maybe your next birthday will be your
It's
last.
so freaky.
What about you, Stella?
Okay, Phoebe. Phoebe's got a classic here.
I've got The Walls of Willoughby Chase by Joan Aiken. It was written in 1962, and basically it's set in an alternate universe of 1830 something, where the Stuarts are still on the throne, and there's basically a channel tunnel between Calais and Dover, which only came about in 1994 or something, so she was ahead of her time.
Lots of times. There were lots of ideas about it, and they did actually start it once, but so it's cleverly done.
Yeah, very clever. And basically, wolves have gone across to England. They've travelled across because they were extinct before in England. But basically, I'll read you. It's about these two young girls called, I think, Bonnie and Sylvia, and essentially, Bonnie is Sylvia's cousin, and she's an orphan, and she goes to live with Sylvia and her parents, and then Sylvia and her parents have to go, her parents have to go away before her mother's health, I think, and they are left under the governance. Governance of. They have a governess, and no surprise, the governess is evil. And she is essentially trying to take over the Willoughby Chase, which is where they live. And so they go on this huge adventure about and trying to stop the governess. And they travel all the way to London and everything. The wolves, they only really turn up at the start, but essentially the idea is that the adults, like the governess, are the wolves of Willoughby Chase, and they're evil. But it's really good. Very gothic, I think. I love it so much. I read it in year 8, I think. And it's quite an easy read. It's there's a lot going on. It's very action packed, and I think it was very good. I can read the blurb for anyone? Yeah. Okay. After braving a treacherous journey through snow-covered wastes populated by packs of wild and hungry wolves, Sylvia joins her cousin Bonnie in the warmth and safety of Willoughby Chase. But with Bonnie's parents overseas and the evil Miss Slycarp left in charge, the cousins soon find their human predators even harder to escape. I got Bonnie and Sylvia mixed up. Bonnie is the one with the parents, but that is...
it's a classic Gothic motif, isn't it? The missing parents, the parents who are either gone or elsewhere. Yeah.
And there's an orphanage at one point, and it's very. I've read somewhere that it's very Dickensian, apparently.
I love this alternate history. I know it is. I know it's a thing, but I really like it.
It's really interesting.
The Stuarts are notorious for basically doing. If they do something, it's not very good. They had the entire Civil War and
It's if the Great Revolution,
Great Fire of London.
It's if the Revolution of 1688 didn't happen. So,
I don't know if it's just me, but it reminds me of the Condesine Curse. Is that how you say it?
The what?
There's this book called The
podcast. It's about
Considine, isn't it? Considine.
Oh, the Constantine, as in
maybe it's
I know
just the
what you mean.
wolves though.
Yeah.
I expect they'd read it.
If you
I'm
do
almost sure they've read it. It's a very famous book.
But that, as
Yeah,
is this, and this is definitely highly recommended for.
Yes,
Yeah,
highly
highly
recommended.
recommended.
Yeah.
Please read it.
It's
It's
a great
so
story.
good.
Yeah.
Alright. Do we have one at home?
Yeah, I do. I have it on my bookshelf.
Or you could borrow this one. Well, actually, you got one. Actually, you got one at home.
Yeah.
No need. All right, thank you, Phoebe. Thank you very much. Right, we're getting to 5 o'clock. Just for people who need to go. I just said it's going to 5 o'clock. So, do you need to go? Did you want to?
Yeah.
Yes, and did you? Okay, so Samira first, and then Georgia. Okay, Samira.
What time does Georgia have to leave?
Do you need to go soon? Georgia, do you need to go soon? Do you need to go soon? No? Okay, in that case, Samira. Right, you come up then. Sorry, Samira first because she's going soon.
Okay, so
We might have to speed it up a bit, folks. Sorry, as well. Yes, go on.
I have a really popular one. I have Coraline
Oh,
with me.
yes, very good. Coraline. Yes, yeah, if you need to go, guys, don't ask permission, just go, okay? Right, sorry, Samira, carry on.
So it's about this girl Coraline, and she moves into her new house, and something like really strange is going on. Like she finds this door, and then she opens it up, and it turns out to be like another world of her parents who actually pay attention to her, kind of thing. But the thing is, they have buttons stitched over their eyes.
Yes, they do.
And like, it's really action packed. Like I haven't read it, I just know a bit about it, I guess. But like she doesn't want to stitch the buttons over her eyes, so she kind of tries to escape, and then it's like really action packed.
Yeah, she's been moved to this place in the middle of nowhere. She doesn't really know anyone, bit bored of their parents, and then she meets her other mother, who is one of the buttons for her eyes. And everything at first seems nice, but actually it's not so nice.
Yeah.
So, and it gets very, very terrifying very quickly.
Yeah, so
there you go. Yeah, you want to show that picture?
That's an illustration.
Yeah, very strange.
Isn't the mother when she turned into like the...
There's a scary one.
It's an alternative universe.
She's so
isn't it?
Yeah.
Alternative
And the other mother is like so skinny.
At Halloween, I watched the movie with my friend, and we were like, "Oh, it's not gonna be that bad."
Oh,
and I got to the bit, and she was just like, "You
What?
can have this button, or this button,
Yeah.
or this
Oh,
button."
yeah.
It started, yeah, that's it.
So
It suckers you in. It suckers you in because at first it doesn't seem so bad,
The
but
scariest bit for me was when she couldn't get back.
yeah. So I can see a lot of you are familiar with it.
No,
judging
I
by the
was
comments around the
I was
room.
watching the movie when I was like
It was
6, and I don't even know why.
What the hell were you doing?
There's this one scene.
It's an animated horror movie. Exactly.
Which scene you got in mind?
There's this one scene where the mother kind of stands up to her full height. This one.
All right, yep, another. There you go.
Picture. There we are. Yes.
And these are illustrations by Chris Riddell, of course, the great Chris Riddell. So.
What's the other mother called? She has like another name. It's like the Bendel or something.
Yeah, she does. I don't know. Maybe I can find it.
No, she's just started calling the other
There was
second
somebody
mother.
folded this page.
The other mother. It's very bad. Second. But isn't there like a book that says greed often gets you the worst like karma?
Fine.
It's like, it's like Caroline's given.
Do you want to go and sit down and see if you can find it, and I'll let.
Like she ends up the door is a coffee.
You don't need to go very soon, do you?
Oh my god, some of the lines
right.
in that book like so sharp you won't feel nothing.
Okay, what we got next?
I got this in year 5 because don't ask. I just got it. And
read it?
Can you tell us what it's called, please?
Bella Bright and the Ghost Game.
Yeah.
I got it because like it's set in Halloween, and like basically it's about Bella Bright, and she like has like a Halloween sleepover with her friends, but like her house, like she moved to this like 200-year-old mansion thingy, and then like the parents go away for like something I can't really remember, and then when they're playing like hide and seek, like this ghost called Alice comes out, and then like she like locks all the friends somewhere, and then like Bella needs to find them, and like, it isn't really creepy, but
there's a ghost.
Yeah.
And there's a quest as well.
Kind of, but it isn't really interesting quest.
Sorry, folks.
And did you enjoy reading it?
It looks like it's above expected.
Oh right, okay. Okay.
Above expected.
All right.
Where have we heard that phrase, folks?
Yeah, it fills our Halloween criteria. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Right, Georgia.
Bella Bright and the Ghost Game.
Bella Bright and the Ghost Game.
I couldn't actually find the book.
That's okay.
But wait, I just need to check something
Okay.
quickly, but it'll only take a second.
And Isra, you're right over there.
No, I'm just
What-
following on the book. And
Okay.
I need to find
I thought you said you wanted to go. I didn't realise that's what you were asking me. What book is it you're looking for? Oh, the Psalm. Oh, do you mean Five Children in It? I think you said the Psalmid.
Samiad.
Or Samiad.
No, she's soulmates.
Oh, soulmates.
Oh, Soulmates. But do you know who the author is?
Susan Lee.
I'm not sure we got that, I'm afraid. I mean, you can look for it, but it's not ringing it. No, sorry, I don't think we got it. Sorry. Anyway, Georgia, back to you. Sorry, Inazri.
So, I mean, I've got 2 books I'm going to talk about, but only briefly. So, by Emma Carroll, The Tale of Truthwater Lake,
Yeah, that's my
where there's this girl, I think she goes to stay with her aunt or an older relative of someone. I'm not quite sure, I can't remember, it was a while ago when I read it. But basically there's this lake outside, and I think it's less full than it has been before. And she goes swimming in it, and she goes and she swims right to the bottom, and there's this sort of ruined village there that used to be there a while ago, but it got filled in because it was in a valley and they needed more water nearby, so she swims to the bottom, but instead of just having to go back up, she goes right down to the bottom and she sees the tops of the houses and the church. And I think like the bell in the church rings or something, and then she sort of swaps bodies with this other girl who was there at the time, and I think the girl is it the girl sort of planning to swim the channel or something like that, and is basically how it's a sort of a split of her life, just staying above and sort of the trouble she's going through then, and then when she swims in the lake and she becomes this other girl at night, I think.
Okay.
And then the other book I'm going to talk about, I can't remember who it's by, but it's called Us in the Before and After, and it's about these 2 best friends, and they've been best friends for ages, and then one of them dies, and the other one who's still alive sort of can see the ghost of the other one. So it's sort of ghost, but it's not creepy. It's quite a nice sort of heartwarming one, and it's really nice. But and it's just about sort of the girls going through the mourning, because even though the ghost is still there, she's sort of not properly there in a way, and it's just like their mourning, and it also has flashbacks to the past for when they were both alive, but there's a big plot twist at the end which you don't see coming, but it's really, really sad as well. But in a good way.
Okay, so lots of family dynamics going on there.
Yeah.
What's its name, Georgia?
No, I don't remember who wrote it. It was called Us in the Before and After.
Oh, Us in the Before and After. It reminds me of Charlotte Sometimes
Yeah.
by Philippa Pierce.
It
She's
was
much
in
older.
the Sparks long list, I think.
Last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
When's the book awards coming out?
November. We will mention it, don't worry.
Yeah.
Because I know...
I'll have it in a second.
Yes.
I want it to be Flashlight.
Wait, I've got another book. It just came to my mind.
We are kind of running out of time. We're not going to be able to fit everything in here. Sorry.
But it was a really good book.
No?
Right. Miss Huntley?
Right. Okay. This is really good because what you've all been talking about has sparked quite a lot of memories in me of my own reading. And one of the most I'm going to talk about this, but one of the most frightening books I ever read as a child was called Marianne Dreams. And Marianne is she's not very well. And this is a classic Gothic trope. Not very well. And has to adjust to being indoors. And she dreams about an alternative house, one that she's drawn. The trouble with this house is that outside she's drawn these stones, and the stones get closer and closer, and there's a boy as well. And there's this completely alternative sort of reality that seems to start invading her dreams, and somehow, don't ask me how, there's a resolution, but the stones just freaked me out completely. But it is wonderfully atmospheric and a brilliant Halloween book. It's very short, and you could get by it, but I don't recommend reading it at bedtime. However, I'm going to talk about one of my real classics, The Ghost of Thomas Kemp. And Mr. Owen, the head of the sixth form and also biology teacher, adores this book, which reminded me about it. Penelope Lively was married to a historian, and she's very interested in time. And Thomas Kemp was an alchemist in the 17th century. And James moves into the house that he had once occupied. And Thomas Kemp makes a lot of trouble for James, a lot of trouble. He throws things. He basically had been kept in a bottle for years, and the bottle is broken when some builders move in to get the house better for the new arrivals. And I've chosen a little bit where Mrs. Verity, who is known to the village and knows a lot of things, talks about what James is interested in, and he's gradually getting to the point where he thinks, how am I going to cope with this? There was no point raising the matter with his parents again. They did not believe in ghosts, therefore there were no such things. It occurred to him that this was a subject on which Mrs. Verity might well have something to say. Naturally, he would not mention Thomas Kemp. That would be madness. It would be all over Ledsham in 5 minutes, and straight back to his parents, who would say he had made the whole thing up. No, the thing would be to raise the subject in a general sort of way and see what happened. Ghosts, says Mrs. Verity. Why, good gracious, I could tell you a thing about ghosts. Believe in them? Well, what I always say is we don't know the answers to everything, do we? I mean, there's some things in this world you can't explain, and maybe we're not meant to. It became clear that not only did Mrs. Verity believe firmly in ghosts, but she relished a good haunting and knew about plenty. Ghost story followed ghost story in bewildering succession. What Mrs. Verity's sister had seen in the churchyard after the Christmas carol service. What old Charlie at the Bull had heard in the yard one night. The story they used to tell about the manor in the old days. Ledsham apparently crawled with ghosts. In such abundance, they rather lost their impact. James began to grow restless. At last he began to stem the flow. He managed to stem the flow and asked how you got rid of them. You have them exorcised, don't you, dear, said Mrs. Verity, by an exorcist. Excuse me just a moment. I've got him wanting to have a word, Mrs. Simpson. So he had in a way been right. Ghosts were a domestic problem, if not a particularly common one, and ordinary ghost-believing people simply got someone in to deal with them like they get in a plumber or a window cleaner. But he, of course, had to have parents who insisted on denying their existence, even when living cheek by jowl, so to speak, with a particularly active one. And he has to find an exorcist, and he does actually find one, who happens to be one of the local builders or joiners. But it's a great book because there's this fight going on between Thomas Kemp, who can't understand what on earth's going on and makes havoc, James, who's a little young, he's about 10, 11 years old, who's coping with a new house, a new home. But there's also a lovely motif about friendship. He imagines Arthur, who lived in the house when he was a Victorian boy. But Thomas Kemp makes havoc, and it's really worth reading. Really good.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay.
When is the book like set? When's James's?
James, it's set in eventually the modern day, but basically Penelope Lively wrote it in, I think it's the 1970s.
I think it's 70s.
Yes, modern day,
1973.
1973. But it still makes sense today. I mean, there are no mobile phones. So if you want to make a phone call, you have to go out to the get on the landline. But Thomas, one of the things that Thomas can't cope with is the fact that he wants the world to be as it was and have James as his apprentice, and James isn't having any of it. So they have to find a way of persuading him to go back to where he should be, which is in his grave, basically. And that's part of the extraordinary bit of the book. It's beautifully written and really quite funny at times because James gets into all sorts of problems. James, what have you done now? Says his mother. That sort of thing. So
always in trouble.
Mr. Humphreys.
Right, I mean, really super quick. So Marcus Edgewick, my son, had his singing. Vampires. Not Twilight-style vampires.
No.
Ugly, scary, terrifying vampires.
Yeah.
And I am going to read you a very short extract with no context.
A bit more than that, even.
An awful self-destructive curiosity pulled Peter closer. Unable to stop himself, he got down on hands and knees and crawled the final few inches towards the grave. As he approached, something else caught his attention. there was a hole in the soil at the head of the grave near the cross. The hole was about the size of a small fist and perfectly circular, like a rat hole in the riverbank. Peter leant over it. He looked in. There was just enough light to see inside the hole. At the bottom, he saw an eye. It was open, seemingly lifeless, though looking straight at him. Then it blinked. Peter screamed and ran as if the devil himself were chasing him. Basically, he's visiting the grave of a friend of his who has passed away, and he doesn't expect to see that. He looks into the ground, and there's an eye blinking back at him.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. So I just thought I'd leave you with something to disturb your dreams at night. But this is a great book. Like I said, real vampires, and basically Peter and his father, they're sort of trying to settle in this new place, but there's lots of demons of the past and lots of spooky goings on. And it's very evocative. And Marcus Sedgwick, if you're not familiar with him, he is a great author. Doesn't just write horror, he writes other stuff too, but this is probably...
And it's set in Romania.
Yes.
The traditional home of vampires.
Indeed.
But he does something very special with it because he really did his research. And for a book that's no more than, 200?
It's about 250 pages.
Yeah,
about that.
it's fabulously evocative. We really recommend it.
Yep.
And once upon a time, he came to visit.
He did, and he was brilliant.
Yeah,
he was fantastic.
He was wonderful.
Right.
Right. Thank
Samira,
you,
what was it
everybody.
you wanted to say very quickly?
Miss, what was the first book you talked about? The one with the stones?
Oh, Marianne Dreams.
Sorry?
Marianne Dreams.
Oh, okay. Thank
It's
you.
by Catherine Storr, I think.
What's scary about the stones, though?
Because the stones have eyes.
Eyes again.
So can't they just
Eyes
be
are
like
scary.
rocks or something?
No, no, they're not.
Why not?
No,
No,
this is the extraordinary way that it's written. This is the extraordinary way it's written.
Right. I think
You might not find it scary, but I certainly did.
All right. I think we need to wrap it up there.
Yep.
So, okay. Have a good half
Happy
term.
Halloween, everybody.
Bye. Bye.